Waves with the Hen Hud class of 85 and friends.
Welcome back to episode 2 of Making Waves. I'm your co-host, Dave San Marco, class of 85, along with the voice of the class of 85, coming to you live from Annapolis, Maryland. Party people, put some of those hands together for Diane Malice.
Hey, guys.
What's going on,
Good to
girlfriend?
be here. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, man. It's good to be back here with you. We're going to rock it out tonight because we got one of the young guns. Somebody cue up some Bon Jovi so I can hear some young guns, okay? We're talking about the class of 2020. I was very intrigued immediately when I saw this this young lady's post on Facebook and what she was doing amidst a impending snowstorm back in our hometown. And I saw something called Hen Hud Weather and this young lady, Marissa McGuire. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, someone, like, built this and put this together for our hometown. And we're going to find out what the motivations are. So it took me, like, a day or two to get hold of her. And she did agree. She was going on vacation, but did agree to come on. So I'm super excited. And I know you are, D-Money. Mm-hmm. So let's welcome in. Party people, put those hands together from Montrose, Buchanan, Verplanck, and the Hen Hud community. Put your hands together for Miss Marissa McGuire.
Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Can I get an amen? Ha! And let me put, we're going to put Marissa here. And yeah, that's what we're talking about right there. Front and center. So,
that's great.
Okay.
So without further ado, let me turn it over to Miss Diane Malice, the host of this joint.
Well, part host, but... And Marissa, feel free to ask us any questions. You know, we're interested to hear, you know, how your journey got to where you are today. Mm-hmm. Marissa's class of 2020. So,
yes.
You know, she's got some crazy probably stories to tell about the whole COVID era and lived in the area. And then she's somewhere else now. So why don't you just give us a little synopsis like where you were and where you are right now, and then we'll dig into like your website and all the good things that you have to look forward to.
Yeah, so I'm class of 2020. So obviously my senior year got interrupted in March, which was not fun. We got no prom, we didn't have a graduation. Well, we had a graduation, but like not the traditional ceremony. So then like my college selection got interrupted too, because I was supposed to tour schools and stuff before actually enrolling, but that got interrupted. So I had to enroll somewhere, and that ended up being at the University of Oklahoma, which was a good choice for sure initially. One of the greatest programs in the entire country. Wow. So I enrolled like right before we shut down, because I was supposed to tour the school like 2 weeks later, but everything got shut down, everything got canceled. So I just had to enroll. So then we continued throughout the rest of senior year. I graduated, and then I moved out of New York. I live in Florida now. And so I moved to Florida, and then a month and a half later, I moved all the way to Oklahoma. So it was very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm here now. I am transferring after this semester to SUNY Albany for a few different reasons, academically, financially, mentally. Oklahoma didn't end up being the best choice after all, which is okay. But I'm excited to continue my journey at Albany for sure.
Yeah, that's great. Oklahoma, that's the land of like big weather, right? Tornadoes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're getting some action this week. There's going to be roughly a 3 to 4 day severe thunderstorm and tornado outbreak. I'm chasing on Tuesday, at least Tuesday. It's going to be
so cool.
A lot of meteorologists are saying this is going to be historical. So I'm looking forward to this week for sure.
Now, just real quick, like a rhyme and rhythm to that, like a guideline, like, okay, we see the funnel, like, you know, don't drive towards it, drive alongside it, or how do you guys do that?
Yeah, we have a team. My friends, we're a team of like 20 people or so, sometimes more, sometimes less. And we've been mapping this out for a few days now, and we're finalizing details. So we may be chasing tomorrow. We're definitely chasing Tuesday. Wednesday's still up in the air because it's over by Dixie Alley, like in Arkansas, Mississippi. But Tuesday, we're definitely going to see some action.
Wow.
Yeah.
So while Diane and I are driving away from the storm, you're driving towards it. Is that right?
Basically,
okay,
yeah.
Okay, got it. Just want to make sure I got that.
And do you all like videotape this? Like if we wanted to catch you guys in the action doing that, like there's a link maybe you could give us?
Great question. Great question. I love it.
I'm definitely going to be posting content.
Good.
I'll be posting personal content for sure. As a team, we do have a page for our team. If we do upload content from this week, I'll be sure to share that on my personal Facebook. But I may post stuff on Hen Hud Weather. I'm not sure yet, but definitely my personal meteorologist page, my student meteorologist page. So yeah.
And so for those of you who want to know, there you can find her right there at facebook.com/ Hen Hud Weather, or is that / I don't know. / Hen Hud Weather.
Yeah.
If you want to check out what's going on with Marissa, who we're going to get into in a second. By the way, I got her a little bit of a programming note. Mr. LaVallee had a family emergency. He couldn't join us this evening. I'm really sort of bummed about that. He was my teacher and my coach at Hen Hud. But we will have Adam Zegoria, the great New York Times sports writer, class of 86, will join us after Marissa. And in between that, Joe Margiotta, proprietor, co-owner of the Paradise Restaurant in Verplanck, will join us for about 3-4 minutes to talk about their pizza and why I just can't get enough of this place. And now let's get back to Marissa McGuire.
And you know the Paradise, right, Marissa?
Yeah, of course. Yes,
all right.
For sure.
Now, where did you live did you go to elementary school, middle school, and high school in the Hen Hud area?
Yes, I was in Buchanan. So I went to FGL, then Blue Mountain, then the high school. So
nice.
And all 13 years.
There's a lot of McGuires, like in the Point and stuff like that. Are you related to all of them?
Not really in the Point as much. But yeah, there's a few different McGuire families. I am related to the Kieslers. There are a lot of Kieslers.
Oh yeah, sure. That's an old-fashioned name that goes back a long time in our community.
Yes. And I'm related to most of them.
Is your family still like in Buchanan? Your mom, dad, or whoever, brothers, sisters?
My immediate family is not in New York anymore. But literally the rest of my family is still in New York. It's just my parents and stuff that aren't there anymore.
Good. Okay. All right. Right on. Great. And so during your time in high school, like when did you realize that, like, I want to be a meteorologist? Like, what was it, a certain class, or did you have, somebody who kind of, influenced you in that way?
Yeah, so I've known this is what I've wanted to do since like the age of 5. That seems to be the case for a lot of meteorology people. Actually, there's really no in between. It's either you've known your whole life, or you've made a last minute decision at the age of 25. There's really no in between. The Weather Channel was always on in my house 24/7. So like watching Jim Cantori and Stephanie Abrams do this thing, I'm like, that's what I want to do. And I decided that at age 5. And I've loved meteorology literally forever. I've never wanted to do anything else with my life. And I'm so excited I can make this true now. It's very great.
The genesis of Hen Hud Weather.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
No, that was in the form of a question. What was the genesis of? Ultimately, that was the genesis. Sure. But yeah, the idea to actualize that into a website and serve the community.
Yeah, so it was pretty funny. So I was on the varsity tennis team for 3 years in high school. And we were on the way back from one of our away matches in like Poughkeepsie or something. And my tennis coach, Brad Fredman, pitched it to me. And I was like, that's such a good idea. He was like, why don't you like go on the morning announcements and, say these write forecasts and then say them over the morning announcements. And I'm like, that's a really good idea. And he was like, you can even go further than that. Why don't you do a social media page? And I was like, okay, sure. So I pitched it to Mr. Mackin, the principal, and he was like, that's a great idea. I want you to do this. So every morning at 8:15 in the morning, I would go on and say my forecast. So I'd write the forecast the night before, go on and say it every morning. Yeah. And I started with a Twitter account for Hen Hud Weather, and then it quickly expanded to Instagram. And then about a year later, Facebook. And I found that my target audience was primarily Facebook because no one really my age cares about weather that much.
Right.
And a lot of the older folks are on Facebook who see this. They're like, that's really interesting. This is really helpful. So I quickly gained a following on Facebook. That's basically how it happened.
What was the reaction of your girlfriends or friends in general, I should say, guys and gals, to you saying, speaking about weather and weather patterns and so forth?
My close friends definitely thought it was cool. They definitely supported me and still continue to support me. Generally a positive outcome and positive feedback for sure.
I love it. We're going to do a quick commercial read here for a nonprofit in our community, if you don't mind. So we're just going to take a moment of your time to add this. Let me see where I'm going to... Hey, there it is right there. Mm-hmm. Let It Shine Online. So this is the idea of our friends, Casey and Maria Morabito, and this is their nonprofit. And Let It Shine Online is a volunteer nonprofit created in March of 2020 to gather love and give it away. The Market on the River and Let It Shine Again Thrift Boutique, the Pantry, and our mission to connect women to the things and services they need. The Lisa Boutique is on 137 7th Street in Verplanck, offers beautiful and useful things for the home. In excellent condition, open all Fridays 11 to 3, Saturdays and Sundays 10 to 2. Donations are by approval and appointment. Please email them at info@letitshineonline.com. And they also have the Market on the River, 45 River Avenue in Verplanck. They're open Sundays, May through October. Farmers, crafters, artists gather riverside to create a festival of health and happiness. Interested vendors, once again, info@letitshineonline.com. The Pantry is open Fridays from 12 to 4. No registration required. Food donations are arranged by appointment. Once again, email them at info@letitshineonline.com. Gift cards to food stores are welcome, along with cash donations accepted online. Check out my classmate, our class president, Maria Morabito, and her amazing sister, Casey, at Let It Shine Online. And back to Marissa. So there we go. We got through our first commercial.
Very good, Dave. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, back to the woman of the hour. People said you're out of your mind because you're talking about weather. Like, what's wrong with you, dude? No? Yes? Maybe?
Not really. I mean, I think awesome. I think the community is very grateful that this page exists because there's a lot of misinformation that goes around in the science world. So I feel like there's never one concise answer. You scroll through the news channels and everyone's saying a different amount of snow is coming on this day. So I feel like narrowing down that forecast to like a very specific community is very helpful. Because even like News 12, they'll give Westchester as a whole and just say, okay, this is what we're getting. But Montrose's totals are going to be different than White Plains' totals,
Right.
So having one forecast for Montrose, Buchanan, Verplanck, and even Northern Westchester as a whole, because Hen Hud Weather has expanded to most of Northern Westchester at this point. So yeah, giving concise totals is important for sure.
Yeah, it's got to be a little stressful, when to get that right, because I know down here in Maryland, like I'm kind of right on the Chesapeake Bay, and they'll be like, oh yeah, there's going to be like 5-6 inches of snow, and because where I am, sometimes it's a bust. We have everybody out getting the toilet paper, getting whatever. And then we're like, what? They even canceled the school because they're worried about it. And then we just kind of get a little rain. So right. I know that it's kind of hard on you guys to kind of, I feel like weather forecasters now try to give a little grace when they're giving it to you. Well, you never know.
Yeah.
This is what we're thinking. But it could go the other way.
It's way more difficult than it seems. So like to walk you through like a typical like snow forecast, like when I plan for snow, I usually start looking at models about a week and a half out. In that case, it'd just be the long range models. So typically 2 to 3 models I'm looking at. a variety of different things I'm looking at. And then as it comes closer to the day or days that the snow is arriving, I'll start to narrow down, okay, what are the totals looking like? And I'll start using way more models at that point, looking at different aspects of each and every model, because each one offers a different frame of reference. So looking at several different models, analyzing it, writing it down, and then translating that science into actual English that the community can understand. It would be my next step, and then publishing the forecast as a whole. But I do try to include some science in my forecast discussions, so it doesn't look like I'm totally bluffing. Like, I know what I'm talking about.
Not that we had any doubt, by the way. You're a Hen Hud graduate.
This from wherever. Like, I know where these numbers are coming from. So yeah, taking the science but translating it into something that can actually be understood. That's definitely the most important part. But it's very stressful, especially this winter. There were a lot of mixed precipitation events with ice and sleet, and nothing stresses me out more than that.
Right.
I just wish it was a solid snow all the way. It's way easier to forecast. But when you're bordering on that 32-degree Fahrenheit mark, that's when things get really tricky.
Right.
Well, first of all, Diane, I feel like you would probably agree that Marissa is more mature than we are.
Absolutely. I was just going to say, she is one smart cookie.
She is. When you hit it just right, okay, so you've forecasted something and it's fairly severe weather, so you needed to get it right, and you get it right. Is there the sound of like a beer cracking in your apartment or your house, like where you're
110%? It's literally the best feeling in the entire world when my forecast is 100% accurate, or 99.9% accurate. Science is never 100%.
Right.
But yeah, it is the best feeling in the world. And so this winter was pretty accurate for me. There were a couple little mishaps with those mixed precipitation events, but generally it was everyone who got it wrong. So I don't feel bad like when stuff like that happens. Like when the weather service is wrong, like, and if I'm slightly wrong, it's like, okay, well, if the professionals can't do it, then I shouldn't be expected to get it 100% correct. So
I just want to show these guys the logo because it's so cool.
Yeah, this is
there
great.
Is her logo. Yeah. It is so dope, just like Marissa is. And let me remove that. There we go. And go back to the other. Go ahead, please.
So Marissa,
continue.
what are you feeling like? What's the summer looking like? Is it going to be hot, humid, dry? what are you feeling for the Montrose?
To get her summer clothing lineup done based on. Go ahead,
right. Come on, give it to me.
It's looking about average to above average, but obviously to be determined. We'll have to see.
I'll check back.
But yeah,
with you
we're
in
looking
May.
at. Yes,
we'll have you on in May.
Above average hurricane season, so that's going to be interesting. Although they've been saying that the last 2 years, but it has been above average the last 2 years. So we're probably gonna we may see some tropical activity this summer as well, in addition to the heat.
You know what we can do, Di, is when we get to like the winter months and we're doing this, like December, January, we could have like Marissa come on and do like what she did at Hen Hud, do like a 2 or 3 minute forecast.
Right.
You know, not want to take too much of her time, but maybe she could pop on and give a forecast.
Or even if she writes something in, we can put it in the comments. Like,
Sunday night, she could give us 5, right? You could give us 4 minutes.
Yes,
of a weather forecast,
and then we'll I'll be.
We'll kick you out of the studio right after that. You give your 4-minute weather thing, we'll get you out of there.
For sure.
Unless you want to interview somebody, you know this platform is all Hen Hud classes. So if you want to interview somebody, we'll just do like this. We'll just move you over to here, and then your guest will be right where my face is right now.
Right.
So there you
go.
Cool.
So anyway, service. Was there a component of a community service aspect to this, or was it just your unending and undying love of weather?
Initially, it was for the high school, ultimately, for those morning announcements, like I mentioned earlier. But as my page grew, it became definitely more of a community service aspect. And now it's completely community service, serving the community, because I'm not a student at Hen Hud anymore. I'm not on the morning announcements anymore. So this is all for the community at this point.
I think Casey Morbido's got to get a hold of her. She needs to be on WLNA.
She's going to be on NBC. She's not going to have time.
I know. That's what we were going to ask you too.
But if you want to meet Casey Morbido, let's just say we have contacts.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool.
No, I think that's
Thank
great.
you.
So how did that come about that you got this internship at NBC?
Yeah, so February of 2020, so my senior year, as you know, I was doing the morning announcements. So the principal was watching me do this every day, and he's good friends with Bruce Beck, the NBC sports guy. So Mr. Mackin pulled me aside one day and he was like, "Hey, this is my good friend Bruce. He knows Janice Huff. Why don't I get you guys in touch, and maybe like you can go down to the studio and stuff, get to know each other." And I was like, "That sounds like a fantastic idea." So I got in touch with Bruce, who then got me in touch with Janice. And then one day after school, I went down to the city, and I got a tour of the whole studio, got to know Janice, and it was a great day. She's fantastic. She's a great person. So I established that connection, and we remained in touch. And this winter, I was applying for a few different internships. And I found that NBC actually had one this summer. I didn't realize that they were doing them this summer until I found this one application. I was like, great, I'll apply. And it was a very, very generalized application, like for the news studio. And I was like, okay, weather, I assume, falls into that category, I'll apply. So I sent in the application and I messaged Janice and I was like, "Hey, I applied for this at your station, just letting you know." And she was like, "Okay, give me a call. I want to talk to you." And I was like, "Okay." So she told me over the phone that the weather team actually has an entirely separate application. And I didn't apply for like the right one, but she said she was going to talk to the people at the station and see what she can do. And I was like, okay, just let me know what happens. And long story short, and a few interviews later, I got the internship. So she definitely had a hand in that, and I can thank her for that for sure. So yeah.
So cool. I will say a lot of times it is who you know. And it's networking and kind of, there are sometimes you can get that great job, but a lot of it's key, throughout your success and your employment in the future, now you'll have a great reference. And
exactly. Yeah. Broadcast meteorology is all connections, like 90% connections. So it's really who you know.
And is that what you want to do? You want to go on to the TV and be the weather?
Yes, that is my
professional.
Yes. Cool. I want to be the next Janice, the next Stephanie Abrams. That's what I want to do.
That would be great. I think you're going to do it because you got the personality for it. And, you're very passionate about what you're doing. I think it's absolutely fantastic. We're so proud of you.
Thank you.
Yes,
I appreciate
as a Hen Hud graduate.
Yeah, absolutely. So proud of you. I would met you. Now you're going to be our friend forever.
Yeah.
You're never going to leave us.
Who could want to interview this young lady and not want to hire her? That would be my question. But before we get to that, let's talk about Kohl's Market really quick. Our friend and one of our class leaders, our official reunion creator, Trisha Cole. So Kohl's Market, it's a family tradition. They're a third-generation family business operating in Montrose for over 100 years, providing the community with the freshest seafood, meats, and produce, as well as an extensive array of gourmet groceries. They're one of the last markets in Westchester to have butchers on site. If you go to their website, there is actually a history of Kohl's Market going all the way back to Trisha's great-grandparents. And there's photos and sort of like a timeline. It is and a whole historiography of how it all came together. It's really cool. Kohl's Market, it's my second favorite place. I have the Paradise and I have Kohl's. So I have my favorite deli and my favorite restaurant. These are the places I go when I come home. Kohl's Market, that's what's up. Go check them out in Montrose.
Marissa, did you ever go to Kohl's? I'm sure you did.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, my grandmother used to shop there in the 40s and the 50s. And so, I actually lived right across the street from there. So
cool.
My house was right across the street from the high school. So on Trolley Road. So we frequent that a good bit.
So talk about Hen Hud real quick, Marissa. We've got about 6 or so minutes left, but what would you describe to people about Hen Hud that haven't been there? Perhaps college friends or someone who's unfamiliar. What would you say about Hen Hud?
The high school or the district as a whole?
You could either one, but however you prefer to take in that question.
But the high school in general has a variety of programs and extracurriculars at your disposal. It's ultimately what you make of it. I know some people don't have the best experiences in high school, but those are the same people who don't take advantage of the sports, the music, and the clubs and the AP programs. Like, there is so much the high school has to offer. I think the high school has like 30 AP classes, 20 or 30, something like that. I was in AP classes. I was on varsity sports. I was in the music program. I was very involved in the music department. They're like a second family to me. So it's everything you make of it. And honestly, the district as a whole too. There is so much that you can do with the programs that they offer. And my advice would be take advantage of all of it. It's a very warming and welcoming place to be, for sure.
Yeah, the people I found is what, I mean, obviously we're talking, what are we, from 85, what are we, 37 years later, you know, we're still, you know, together. And I think that says something about the school, but we don't really have a sense of what it's like there now. But I'm assuming that that you are bonded with, to a degree, with people that you attended high school with.
Yes, for sure. My high school friends I still have friends from high school in the district, and I'm still fairly close with a good amount of the faculty, specifically at the high school, but all across the district as a whole. So definitely a closely bonded community for sure.
It really is. I've been to other high schools, so I know. I went to a high school in Florida. What part of Florida are you in, by the way?
In Jacksonville, so the northeastern corner. Yes,
I'm on the opposite corner from you. So if you know where Destin, Panama City is, I live about 40 miles west of Panama City.
Oh, cool,
so
cool. Yeah.
Not quite Fort Walton Beach, Destin, but pretty close.
Cool.
So yeah, we're right down the road. But I went to high school in South Florida, and my experience there was nothing like what it was at Hen Hud. And Hen Hud, actually coming back there, I did 9th and 12th grade at Hen Hud, and I'll get into that on a future episode of what it did for me. But obviously you took advantage of a lot, and not only the people like I did, but also all those programs, which now you see the dividends it's paying off for you because it looks great on your resume, you know?
Right.
So
yes, for sure. It's all what colleges want to see. But it was fun to do the programs in the process, for sure.
Where's your New York accent? Why is it only you and I we don't have the accent? What happened?
It's really funny. People in Oklahoma, they notice it. But not consistently. It's only like some words. But I've gotten pointed it out a lot here. I feel like I have this conversation every day with somebody, and it's gotten so annoying. Like, I'm just like, dude, like you're in Oklahoma. Stay where you need to be.
You tell them, Marissa.
I realize I'm the forwarder here. Like, I've only seen like 2 other New York plates here, which honestly is shocking. Who wants to go to Oklahoma? But
well, you coming back home to Albany, baby.
Yes, yes. That was part of my decision to transfer. But New
York.
Yes.
Well, hey, we have one last question that we normally ask everybody. So, if you were back home and you're at the Peekskill coffee shop and you could have anybody from like school or the community, like somebody it could be a classmate, someone you haven't seen, you want to sit down and have a coffee, who would it be and what would you ask them?
My 2 best friends, Ava and Sophia. I've known Ava since the 3rd grade. We're best friends, practically sisters. And the Peaceful Coffee House is actually our go-to. We're always there. And before I moved, we were there like every single day. So definitely them. And just laughing amongst and telling our inside jokes and having a great time. Yeah.
Perfect. That sounds great. Sounds like you've taken away some great key friendships from the school. You guys will all circle back. We all do. Oh yeah. You know. Yeah.
Until once you get who you're going to be, so you've had a career. You're more than likely you're going to have a family, and then your kids are going to be in like high school or college or something, and you are really going to want to get back together. It's going to take a while because now like none of us care who makes more money, who's the CEO. Who's doing this? It doesn't matter. There's no cliques. We're just one class. We were always in a way we were kind of one class, but now we're even less diverse. We're all one now. So it's you'll see that it'll happen. So, all right. So we're expecting Joe Margiotta in a couple. Oh, he is there. He's at the bottom of the screen. Marissa, my dear, we will talk to you.
Yeah, come back again. We want to hear how things are going.
Definitely.
And, chime in any week. You can always just come listen in, whoever we have. And if you have any suggestions, that would be great too. And like I told you, Bob Ryan, who he was a famous weather forecaster in the DC area. I found out, through the grapevine when I first moved down to this area, he actually was born on when the 19th. I might have that wrong, but it'd be great, we're great to connect with him too,
Yeah. I've heard that name before. For sure. It'd be great to connect with him.
We're, as I think Diane said it earlier, we're very, very proud that you come from our school and are so amazing. So we'll be talking to you, Marissa. All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Marissa.
Much.
Have a good night.
Have a
Absolutely.
good night.
All right. Bye-bye.
She's a gem, isn't she?
Oh my God.
So
This girl's
proud of
amazing.
her.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
And we have another gem to bring on right here. So Marissa McGuire, Hen Hud Weather. Check her out on Facebook. Just put Hen Hud Weather into your search bar on Facebook. You can hook up with her and get your forecast on. We will have her on during the winter months to predict your weather. But I'll tell you what, I'm feeling a storm right now. But what I'm seeing, instead of dust in the air, I'm seeing pizza sauce. And the reason I'm seeing that is because of our next guest. Party people, put your hands together for the Paradise's own Mr. Joe Margiotta. What's going on, brother?
Looking good, Joe. Good to see you.
Hey, Di. Great to see you.
Great to see you.
How's things going?
Good.
Very good.
And I just want to say, the Margiotta family is just so great. Congratulations on the 75th year. I think that's amazing. My parents have had anniversary parties there. Had some of the sad occasions there, but you, Victor,
we're very
and the
proud
family.
of our family and what we were able to accomplish over the years.
Absolutely.
Yes, this is our 75th, and it's after COVID, we're coming back strong. Been very busy lately, and thank God for that. I mean, we have our regular customers, and they just keep coming, and we appreciate them, and they appreciate us. So it's been a great ride.
Hey, Joe, can I say that when I die, I want my celebration of life to be at the Paradise? I really do.
It's funny because we do a lot of after the funeral party.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's where I want mine to be.
You have the funeral home down the road.
We're Paradise patrons, so
yeah,
we get a lot of that, I'm sure.
Yeah. There it is right there, baby. Established in 1947, same year as the United States Air Force. So put your hands together for the Paradise.
Same as the Air Force. Same as the NBA also. NBA
hey!
There you go.
Two of my favorite things. The Air
Right.
Force and the NBA. You got to love it, man. Right. Joe, we're going to be seeing you in August. But, man, I don't know what your secret sauce is. But I just love coming to this place, man. I really do. Thank you. My two favorite places are Coles and the Paradise.
My job is not to change anything here at the Paradise. We try to keep it the same. They perfected it back in the 50s and 60s, and now we're just doing the same thing and keep it the same. So, all these new places jump up, and it's good for a change, but the old reliable, Italian cuisine is what we're about.
That's right.
That is what I'm saying, brother. This is my spot, right? This is my spot.
Yeah,
right
the pizza is very unique. It is. It's different than, you guys use the cornmeal, and it's always, great. I mean, my family would eat dinner early. Like back in the day, your parents got done with work, right? It was 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. We would eat dinner, but then it'd be 8 o'clock, and my dad's like, let's go down to Paradise and get a pie. And he'd sit there at the bar. He'd have a beer while we waited for the pizza. Your dad was there. You know, I mean, it was just,
Right.
it's so amazing. Just generations and generations
Right.
that went through
I mean,
that
it
front
started
door.
off, it was a small place, and it was a teenage hangout. Most of Hendrick Hudson people still come, remember that. And they renovated it in the 60s, and they pretty much kept the same customers. So as the customers started having families, we became a family place, and we kept all the same people. So we had a lot of people that came from Croton, and still do. We have a lot of customers that live in Croton, and just love it. You got to love people to be in this business, and I love people, so
Yeah, you're good people.
I don't feel like we're going anywhere yet.
Now, do you guys offer, like, just curious, do you guys offer like DoorDash, and do you guys do any of those services?
We do. DoorDash was very good during the pandemic, and we still have them, and it's good because you don't have to worry about hiring people to make the deliveries. You know, it's for us, it's the same as takeout because somebody shows up, picks up the order, and they go.
Right.
So it works out beautifully, and it's a good operation they got. I haven't had any problems with them. And you can order through Clover, which is another option.
Okay.
Or Slice. They both use DoorDash. So if they order through Slice or the Clover, a DoorDash guy picks it up.
You know what?
So
saying all the stuff
about it's a nice service.
Saying the word slice, we're talking about all the things that you're doing. You guys are going to make me eat again. I've already had dinner. I don't want to be a gavon, and eat again. So, it's already okay. Joe,
well,
August.
We'll be here again Wednesday. So,
all right, Joe, are you going to take care?
Don't stress out too much.
No, it's just that I don't. You guys are making me want to eat again. But Joe, so August 11th or August 12th. That'll be the next time that we'll see you. Okay?
Our anniversary actually falls on August 15th, so you're just under the gun there.
Okay,
or 75th is because the feast, Our Lady of Mount Carmel here in Verplanck, it's their 100th anniversary. So we're 25 years behind them.
Wow.
And it's going to be Verplanck for a little town is going to be hopping in those weeks to come.
That's great.
Love it, man. It feels like home. But Joe, I will give you. It was great. By the way, it was great speaking with. We got our next guest coming on, Adam Zegoria, class of '86. Talk about new sports. But it was awesome to have you on, and I'll be in touch with you about our August get together, which we hope to be even bigger than this winter. Okay.
Terrific, and I appreciate it.
Thank you,
it's
brother.
Great to see you, Dave and Diane.
Yeah, good.
Me
to
too.
See you. Love you, Joe.
Okay.
I thought it was all Diane, but thank you. I'll take it, man.
No,
yeah.
Take care, Joe.
Take care,
Always
Joe.
good to see you.
All right, brother.
Take care
Bye-bye.
now.
Thank you. All right. That was awesome. Our next guest. Let's see. Let me. Okay. All right. So, he's here. Our co-host is here. Somebody, hey, Stuart, turn off YouTube.
Hold on a sec.
Turn off YouTube, Stuart. We've got our next guest. He's in the studio.
Hold on.
All right. So, he's just messing with his hair, making me. Let's get him in here. Hey, wait, we got to do this right here. We got to, party people, put your hands together for the New York Times own Mr. Adam Zegoria, class of '86. What's going on, brother?
How you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Dude,
hey, Adam.
It's an honor. There he is. There we go. We got the Adam banner up. Dude, it's an honor to have you, man. It's been a couple of years. Obviously, you guys just had a loss recently. All of us had a loss in Mr. Antonucci, Mike Antonucci from your class. And I saw some photos, and it's another horrific loss for COVID. So I'm really glad that you came to join and represent for your class, because we haven't had anybody on from '86, man. But how you been?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Yeah, it's definitely sad that we lost Mike. I just got a Facebook notification that 4 years ago the other day, Mike's had this ping pong team where we played in Pleasantville for like a benefit, and he put together a ping pong team with me and John Fair and Rob DeLeonardis and Jay Dahl, Alex Fair, a bunch of people, and we ended up winning this ping pong tournament as a benefit. And I don't think I've ever seen Mike so proud and happy as he was that day to see this team that he put together win.
I love those photos on Facebook because you guys look. I look at our class and the way it looks like when we get together, and then when I look at your class, it looks like the same kind of vibe. Like you guys are very close. There's that photo of you and George Hatzman and a whole bunch of guys. Man, you guys look very close.
Yeah, I mean, I know I feel personally pretty lucky that I'm still. We have a text chain, as I'm sure a lot of you guys do, with about 10 guys in our class: George and John Fair, Steve Benjamin, Jed Cutler, Matt Smith.
Yeah.
Allison Daly's the only woman on the group. She's been hanging out with the same 10 guys for 30 years. But there's nothing like having friends that have known you your whole life and know where you come from and what you're all about. So I think we're all fortunate.
May I pass a message to your group of 10 or 12 friends that this forum that we've created here to tell stories and of us and our town and so forth and our upbringing is open for them too. It's not just for our class, and we would love to have any one of those people that you just mentioned.
I'll let them know.
Thank you. I appreciate
Put
that.
it on the text message.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, share it with them and tell them that we want to talk to them. Tell us about your journey becoming a sports writer, because I don't think I had any knowledge when we were in high school that you were. I'm a sports fan. Obviously, Stuart is, Diane is, but I had no idea that you were such a prolific sports fan. How'd this journey come about?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I never really wanted to work in an office 9 to 5 or, become a lawyer or anything like that, although maybe I could have. And, this is really something that allows me to, I basically get paid to talk to people and interview them and attend sporting events and write stories, which is stuff I've always enjoyed doing. I just got back from the Final Four in New Orleans and covered that for the Times. That was a lot of fun. And it's just, I think I kind of got started in college when I was actually on the ultimate Frisbee team at Wesleyan, and we got back from a tournament and somebody said, hey, we need an article in the school paper on our team. Who wants to write it? So I said, hey, I'll do it. And I started writing articles about our Frisbee team. And it was kind of awkward because I was on the team and writing about it, right? So I didn't know whether I should refer to myself in the third person or the first person. But, I got into it, and then I started writing like a column in the Ultimate Players Association called Zags Rag. And then I went to journalism school and started getting jobs at newspapers and stuff. And, I started out kind of on the lowest level, right? Covering like girls high school soccer and girls high school basketball. And, I've been doing it for a long time, 25, 30 years now, and kind of put in my time. And so now I write for the Times and the Star Ledger, and I have my own site called Zags Blog, which is a lot of college basketball recruiting and college basketball news. And so, it's fun. I'm not getting rich, but I enjoy what I do.
It's awesome, man. Stuart, Diane, jump in there for my man AZ.
So, Adam, just a question. You're an author. You've won an Emmy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You are a famous sports writer. When you see like websites and you see your name and it's information about Adam, do you ever read some of them and say, where do they get this information from? Because it makes absolutely no sense.
Not really. I mean, it's mostly like that's from a biography that, I've written and people just take. But, it's more just like the world has changed a lot with Twitter and social media, since I first started doing this. I mean, in the old, before Twitter and before social media, you would, I would interview like Diane today and it would be in the newspaper tomorrow. And if I had a breaking news story like Diane Malice commits to Penn State for, what'd you play, Diane? Soccer, field hockey?
Field hockey, softball.
Yeah. So if I had like a breaking news story that, Diane committed to Penn State or whatever, would be in the newspaper tomorrow. And, my competitors would kind of have to wait a day, right, to read it in the paper and maybe go try to interview Diane tomorrow to get the story. But now you break news, you have a story, you put it on Twitter, social media, and within 5-10 minutes, everyone else has access to it, can post it. So, the window to break news is a lot smaller, and there's, everyone has access to it now. I mean, any high school kid with a Twitter account and a camera can say that they're a journalist now or try to break news. And, some of them do. So it's really kind of opened it up to more people can do it. And the line between, what's a real reporter and what isn't, that's been kind of blurred by all the different, outlets that we have in the world now.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think there's a place for people who can write and report and come up with original stories.
Mm-hmm. I just thought
I don't know if that answers your question.
Well, no, I was just reading because something I read, and I was reading a couple of things about you, and there was one article I read, and obviously it's got to be somebody's opinion that said, as a result of his secretive nature, Adam's exact age remains unavailable to the public.
Oh my God!
I can tell you what it is.
However, judging by his physical appearance, he may be 48 years old. I just thought it was pretty.
Yes,
wow,
I'll take it.
I'd like to read that. Where's that?
I know, right?
Yeah, it was just some article. It was just really funny, and it does say you're a very loving, caring husband. So congratulations on that.
I mean, my birthday is on my Twitter account, so I'm not really keeping my age that secret.
This is amazing, man.
Please send me the link to that. I'd love to read it.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys don't have direct contact already, I'll definitely get it to you, Adam. That's awesome, man. This is really cool. We lost Mr. LaVallee. He had a family emergency, but coming in the role of the hero, the class of '86's own Adam Zegoria is stepping in. So I really appreciate that, brother. It really, it's makes us beam with pride when one of our classmates has done something like this. We have all these doctors and lawyers. Seth Gold is an attorney for entertainment figures and has represented the Rolling Stones in cases. So we just have so many people that are so accomplished. Is there a secret sauce, you think, at Hen Hud, or do you think there's some sort of a certain experience that maybe informed what people were able to achieve?
No, I mean, look, I think, I love Hen Hud and everything, but I think every high school and every town has, people come out of it and do different things. And I think if you follow your passion and whatever you love to do, you can, that old expression that if you love what you do, you're never going to work a day in your life. And, that's kind of how I feel. I mean, one thing just sort of tangentially related to this is, I grew up with like Brian Kelly and Kenny Sherman and Steve Lashinsky is a year younger than me. And, those guys all played high level basketball at the time, right? I mean, Steve went to Bucknell and, Kenny and Brian were like the best players in our town. And I'm still friendly with them. And I always talk to them about how interesting it is just from basketball and recruiting that, I spent a lot of my time like covering the top recruits that go to Kentucky and Duke and Kansas and places like that. And again, times have changed. Like if those guys had played, more travel team and grassroots AAU basketball, I think about my friend Steve Lashinsky, who's 6'10". Mm-hmm. If he had been able to travel and go to some more events in the summer, I think he would have, been recruited maybe a little differently and seen by more college coaches. But he just played for Jim Aarons on the Hen Hud team and, didn't really travel much with grassroots. So, his experience was a lot different. And, you know, I know Kenny's had a lot of success as the girls basketball coach at Hen Hud, and we talk about that a lot. So it's just interesting kind of how things change over time.
Yeah, and interesting how close everybody is. I saw Ken downtown as well one of my first trips back home, and it was just like we just left Hen Hud. You know, it was amazing. That's what I think is interesting about the school, particularly because I come from the military. I retired from the Air Force, and you speak with a lot of individuals who either didn't like their high school at all, don't talk to anyone, don't care, and that's what I meant. That's you know what I meant about our school. Doesn't seem to be that way.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I feel very lucky that again, you know, like you guys, I'm still in touch with a lot of people from class of '86, but also just people from here in Kruger's, you know, that I grew up with on a dead end street with a dozen kids. You know, Trisha Cole from Cole's Market we grew up across the street from each other, and we're still friends. And I've always sort of felt bad for when I meet people who say, you know, they left their town and they wanted to get out of there and they never stay in touch with anyone from their high school. You know, I get that. Like high school can be a pretty tough, alienating experience, and some people want to get out of there. But I always sort of felt bad for those people and couldn't really identify with them. And, you know, again, especially for me, I think partly because I'm an only child, it's to be able to go back and stay friends with people who've known you your whole life. You know, there's nothing really like that. And by the way, are you guys following this Princeton plan where they're going to change the rotation of the elementary schools starting next year?
No.
What is that?
Yeah, so I just found out about this. So starting next year, like we all went to our different elementary schools, and then we all met at Blue Mountain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So starting next year, all the kids in town in kindergarten and first grade are going to be together at FG Lindsay. Then they're all going to move together for second and third grade to the BV building. And then for fourth and fifth grade, they're all going to be together at Furnace Woods.
Wow.
Interesting. And why is that?
So basically, all these kids will meet each other in kindergarten or first grade and stay together through high school. Whereas, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I went to FG Lindsay, and it was a little, you know, you go to Blue Mountain, it's a little culture shock because you're meeting the Furnace Woods kids and the BV kids for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But it was great, though. It was great meeting everybody.
What do you guys think of that? By the way, I promised Adam I would get him out of here. So just in case you need to go, because you're going to watch the Yankee game with your father. So I don't want to keep you. But otherwise,
you guys are cutting into my Yankees Red Sox time, but I'm making time for it.
Okay. So what do you guys think of that move?
I don't know. I like Diane said, I sort of liked meeting people for the first time, and meeting new people, you know, I think enhances your life. Growing up with the same people. I mean, it's great to know somebody like my kids went from kindergarten to, you know.
Did he freeze?
Yeah, we might have lost Stuart.
I mean, I talked to my neighbor about it, and you know, a couple things, like say you have one child in like first grade and one in fourth grade, right? They will not be in school together now, right? You won't have the older sibling together with the younger sibling, and they'll have to take different buses to school. So I think some people are opposed to that, and you know, I think the Furnace Woods crowd is a little, you know, resistant to it for, you know, whatever reasons. But
what do you think the benefit of that is? I just don't get what the benefit of that is.
Yeah, it's some Princeton plan. I don't know. I don't pretend to know enough about it. My neighbor, who has a kindergarten child, was telling me about it. But it concentrates all the kids in one building, I think, so it makes it easier on like the resources. Like each school, instead of having to deal with kindergarten through fifth grade or first grade through fifth grade, now you can just focus on 2 grades in your building.
Got it.
But, you know, I think we all realize there are different class and socioeconomic backgrounds, you know, ranging from Cortland Manor to Montrose to Buchanan to Verplanck. And, you know, basically for us, it was all like the classes kind of merged and the different groups merged at Blue Mountain in 6th grade. And now these kids are all going to basically meet for together in kindergarten or first grade.
I could see some potential benefits there, but yeah, I mean, when I was that age, I don't care what socioeconomic. I came from Furnace Woods myself, but I didn't care how much money anybody made. It's just whether they're a nice person or not, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean that's a nice way to look at it. But I think we all realize that
the parents.
You met different groups of people when you got to Blue Mountain. I'll just put it that way.
I think Adam's on his way to the game.
All right, Adam. You know what? I really appreciate you taking the time out to do this, and we can do like a round 2 sometime, because I know there's other topics we would want to get into, some sports-centric topics. But I really want to thank you for coming and saving the day. I really appreciate it, brother.
Sure. I mean, if you want to go a couple more minutes, I'm fine. If not, no worries.
Well, we get a commercial read we're going to do, and that's going to take us about to the end of the hour. But if you guys got a last one for Adam, go ahead, man. Have at it, Diane. Have at it, Stu.
I just want to.
Yeah, Stu's connection is a little messed up. Stu, go to mute real quick. Go to mute. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, you can. I always know who he probably hasn't gone to mute. Let me see if I can. There we go. It'll stop now.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right. Yeah.
Bye, Adam. Take care.
Thank you very much. But we'll try to get you on for a future episode. Okay, brother?
All right.
All right, man. Peace.
Guys, appreciate you.
Thank you. All right. Adam Zegoria, the New York Times sports writer. We got one more commercial ad we want to do, and that is for Dolly's Travel. So this young lady's name, she's from the class of 1980. Her name is Darlene Parks Medeiros. She has this home-based travel business. She started about a year ago. She can do any kind of travel, hotels, all-inclusive train trips, cruises, car rental, flights, etc., destination wedding, group sales, etc. She would like to hear from anyone who is wanting to travel. In fact, I'm going to contact her for my trip to New York and see what she can do for me, what kind of price she can get for myself and Orsolino, who I think we're going to meet up in New York and then travel in the rental car together. Her commission is automatically built into the price. You're helping a small business. If you find a better price, give it to Darlene and she will match it. So it's facebook.com /Dolly's Travel. I think I have a banner here for her somewhere. Where is she? Dolly's Travel. I thought I had a banner for her. How could I? Maybe I might have deleted it. But Dolly's Travel, Darlene Parks Medeiros. You can find Dolly's Travel on Facebook. So that's where you're going to look for her. Oh, wait. Here it is. Okay. There it goes.
Good
Dolly's
job.
Travel. So thank you, Darlene. I'll give you a call, find out about my trip to Hendrick Hudson when I come up to visit the homies. And now, I don't have my Stuart Muir banner. But I do have a Stuart Muir banner. I just don't know where it is. But that was dope, man. It was dope having Mr. Zegoria come on, yeah?
That was great. Great show.
I didn't realize how much he had accomplished, honestly, till I started reading about him.
No,
his books, his Emmy.
I didn't either. I didn't know he won
people
an Emmy.
He knows. Amazing.
Oh, well, I've seen the people who follow him on Twitter. I mean, if you look at a who's who of NBA journalists, Chris Broussard, guys from Fox Sports and ESPN, yeah, they follow Adam. So, yeah.
Wow. He must know what he's talking about.
He does. He's legit, man. He's
Finally,
legit.
someone on the show who knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
There you go.
We know we can't count on Stu for that. So
No.
I'm just here for comic relief, Dave.
I'm kidding. No, we love you, Stu.
No, please.
You did a
Sorry I was late, by the way. I apologize for that. I could have used our weather person because I was stuck in snow in Oneonta. It's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Marissa was great. Dude, tell him about Marissa McGuire, man.
She was great. She was dynamite. Joe Margiotta, he was great too. Yeah,
Joe Margiotta was on.
Yeah, he did a little 10-minute
Good
segment.
Lord.
We talked to him a little bit about the 75th anniversary and, just talking about what good people they are there and at the Paradise and how much.
Did you guys ever see the Anthony Bourdain show when they showed the Paradise?
No, what?
No, that sounds familiar. I think I do remember that.
For some reason, Anthony Bourdain, I guess he was doing the Hudson Valley, and he showed up in Verplanck, Montrose, and he went down to the river and he was fishing with some of the locals. Very embarrassing for us. And then he went and he showed the Paradise Pizza place.
Dude, I had no idea he was in Verplanck. That is out of control, man. All right, let's Kathleen Reichert read about it. When there's some logistics, but so Kathleen Reichert has some. Let me put her comments up. She believes Kathleen says it's logistics, busing, schedule for parents, hashtag nightmare. So
you know what I was going to ask? Does that mean that every teacher in that school now becomes just a kindergarten, first grade teacher? That's it?
Yes. That's what, however many grades are included in that block. Yeah, that's going to be the whole school. So the school will be half empty.
Fifth grade, I am now teaching kindergarten.
Well, you might have to get moved over to the other school.
Not necessarily, because you figure you had 5 grades, right? But you have like 3 schools that are.
All right. So if I taught a BV in a certain grade, they'd move me to the grade that whatever school is teaching my grade.
Right.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just something different, I guess.
Yeah. Stu, you're coming in very blurry. So
I know. It's getting worse. I'm going to talk to about getting a new computer because it's getting worse.
Yeah.
I think next time I show up, it'll be in a different laptop. I promise.
Okay. I mean, we hired you for eye candy, and if people can't see you, we're not really getting our money's worth.
This is sour candy right now. I apologize.
Yeah, which means for your matching 401k, it's not going to happen. So anyway, take it down to 2% match. But
the eye candy. Do we have HR on this organization?
We need HR.
I'm in trouble.
HR needs to be here immediately. I need to talk to somebody. Eye candy.
It's getting harassed.
I wish I was eye candy.
Now I feel like I'm monkey in the middle. I want to move Stuart down here. Let me get Stuart. There we go.
There he is. The great Dr. Kathleen Reichert.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
She's amazing.
Up, Kat? Yeah. One love to Kat Reichert. There she is.
There you go.
She's
good family. Yeah, great family.
Yep. I don't know who is somebody's. So we've got 6 people. Let me see who's. Yeah, there's 6 people watching. I don't know who they are, but thank you everybody for joining in. Next time we're planning. Okay, Stuart, make the pitch right now for KQ.
Karen, we have known you for a long time. We love you, and to know that you are a baker in part-time and make these tremendous cookies, these wonderful desserts, you have to come on and share with us. So that we can spread the word to not just us, to everybody, and make you the newest star on any food cooking channel. We need you now.
There you go.
Yes.
Absolutely. We definitely
It's unfair for Karen to keep this to herself. Completely unfair.
There you go. Karen, I couldn't have said that any better myself. And because she said, I'm not a chef like Diane or Mark. It's like, it's not about your bona fides as a chef. We want to have you on because we love you and we want to see what kind of stuff you're making and we want to talk about
That's okay.
food.
I'm not a baker, so I want to see what she has to offer.
She sent me some pictures of some of her creations and they look fantastic.
That's awesome. That's
I'm
great.
into it,
yeah,
man.
and she could probably mail us some, Dave, right?
Yeah, I'll let you ask her if she mails them.
I will.
You ask
her. Yeah, we need samples.
D Money Malice. We're gonna have
We do need samples, Dan. You're absolutely right.
I want a cookie. I want a cookie right now.
Now so do I. A cookie.
Yeah, I mean, this could be the way to gain weight is just to eat some cookies on air while we're talking. So I'm sure we'll have some food. So next month we're planning on a food-centric episode. But I'll tell you what, man, if we could get 20 minutes with Mr. LaVallee, I might do that just since we didn't get him this month.
Great guy.
So, we may have to we'll do food for a while and then we'll cut and bring in Mr. LaVallee because I owe that man a debt of gratitude. So that's all we got for you this week, ladies and gentlemen. So like and subscribe on our YouTube, please, just so that, there's some activity there. Let us know what stories you want to cover. It was awesome tonight that we had someone from class of 86 and someone from class of 2020 who clearly is more mature than Diane, myself, or Stuart.
There you go.
Was that lady a pro or what?
Yeah, she's going to be on TV for sure.
She's going to be on TV.
Hopefully she won't forget about us.
She can be like, Diane. Yes.
Exactly. Too funny.
But by the way, Mr. LaVallee remembered you, Stuart, because we spoke about you today. So, and you remember
because
Diane
of my freshman wrestling career. Is that what you remember?
Oh, I didn't know. Okay, yeah, that might be why. Okay,
I thought that when I left after freshman year, the wrestling program would fall apart. Apparently, it did not, and it continued to thrive. I just wanted to find out from Mr. LaVallee emotionally how he handled my leaving after freshman year. Just to see how it was.
That is gonna be awesome having him. Stuart, you're the best, man. And I'll tell you,
I was thinking today that when I wrestled in ninth grade, I wrestled at like 132. Can you imagine?
Yes, because that was my weight, so I can't imagine. As a senior, that was my weight.
Oh, really?
But, yes, I wrestled.
Oh,
yes, Bruce, myself, and you're gonna freak out. Tom Weisenberger also was at 132.
Wow. I was just thinking back and how much more I weigh than 132 now. It's just crazy.
Me too. And we were midgets compared to you, Stuart. You were quite a bit bigger. By the way, I just want to mention before we close the show that I did see a photo of Stuart his junior year at the senior prom. I think you went with Cheryl?
I went to Cheryl's senior prom, yes.
Yes. But seeing Stuart with the mustache, Diane, that photo will be on the next episode of Making Waves.
Not only the mustache, the hair was so awful. Like, I've been cursed with hair. It's funny, as soon as I began to get decent hair, it went gray. It was just awful. I only had maybe 6 months of decent hair and decent hair color, and then it all fell apart.
You know, they make that in a box now. You can change it to be anything you want it to be.
I know.
You don't have to settle. You don't have to settle.
I was thinking just dyeing it blonde, like really blonde.
I know.
Stuart, there are certain people.
Crisis at 50.
Exactly. Diane, I am not sympathetic to Stuart's hair woes, and you understand why.
Yeah, right?
Okay.
So I want to know, so what happened? You wrestled in freshman year. I want to get back to this. And then what happened? You just like, no, I can't do that.
Originally,
I'm a little too close to the other guys.
No, what happened was Brian Bygert and I, God rest his soul, we wanted to join the freshman team simply to get the jackets that they wore around school. Nice. We wanted the wrestling jackets. They had the big flap in the back. Like, it was really like almost like a sailor uniform jacket. So Brian and I, because we weren't that popular at the time, thought, if we get those jackets, we are so in. And we got the jackets, and we didn't become popular at all. But
you're like, this is a lot of work.
That's a great story.
And the wrestling, I mean, the team at the time, you know, it had the McHales on it. It had the Blakeley's, Greg Blakely.
Right.
And at the time,
Sean Blakely. Oh, no, he wouldn't have been there
Sean wasn't there yet. But Greg Blakely was there, and Mike Ford was there, Tom Button.
Oh my God, Mike Ford was
and
amazing.
Those guys were really good. And after I got beaten a lot, I decided it was time to move on. And that's when I really got into the soccer thing, and then everything else just kind of took over.
Right.
Yeah, go figure. Yeah. Someone from Scotland playing soccer. This is a big shocker.
Yeah, it's almost unheard of.
Yeah. All right. Man, I'll tell you what, this is awesome. Any final comments before we close the show?
No, it was a great show. It was good. Super fun. Looking forward to, more to come. And Mr. Ryan, you forgot about Mr. Ryan. We're going to have him on too, right?
I can't wait to get Mr. Ryan on the show.
Oh my God. Were you on his team?
I was. When I came to Blue Mountain in the 7th grade, I went right into the Ryan team. So,
I was on that team too. Did you like camp out at West Point and all that?
Oh yeah. I think I told Dave I was on guard duty like 2:00 in the morning or something. Because I was a lowly private. What rank did you get?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't remember that, really?
I wasn't like high though. I think I was on the lower tier.
I was scarred by my private first class rank forever. You can see I'm still scarred because I still speak about it.
And Tom Short put you on duty at 2 a.m. I don't know if he's the one who
Short, all that power right to his head, man. It was crazy. He walked around in the 7th grade like he was the king. He was a major or something.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Yep. I have
right.
pictures somewhere. I got to find them. So, okay,
All
well,
right.
we're gonna have a good episode.
We're gonna talk about this because it may end up next time. We might need to do Mr. Ryan and Mr. LaVallee and make it an academic centric episode, and then do the food one out. We're gonna have to talk about it just because we're dealing with older guys and we don't want to go too far down the road where we're like, hey, remember 2 months ago? You know, so we'll discuss. But we'll discuss it. But man, it was Stuart. You brought, just you coming in here, even at the end of the show, man. You bring so much energy. You're so funny, and I can't wait to see you interact with Mr. LaVallee. Find out how he was able to.
I can't wait.
Produce champions after you.
Emotionally, he's gotten over me leaving, and we can have a good, frank discussion.
Yeah, and maybe not. And if not, it might be a catharsis that'll
if he has to unload to release some of that stress, I'm here.
You got it.
I love it.
I'm here for him.
I love it. All right.
Sounds good.
All right. For
Great
Diane,
show, guys. Thanks,
for Diane
Dave.
Malice, for Stuart Muir, this is Dave San Marco saying peace out, one love, and we'll see you down the road.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Like and subscribe, please.